The most significant piece of evidence that we have in this entire ancient astronaut puzzle is Puma Punku in the highland of Bolivia.
In the high mountains of Bolivia, the ruins of Puma Punku still surprise people and challenges what we believe about the building skills of the olden day. Recently, new AI scanning tools were used to study its well-known H-shaped stone blocks in great detail, and they revealed hidden inner joints and shapes that seem much more complex than expected. What experts thought were simple stones now raise new questions that still have no clear answers. How did people make such exact connecting parts with basic tools? And why do they look like parts of a much more advanced system? Join us in this video as we discuss the details. Scientists cannot explain the interior joints of Puma Punku's H-block. High in the cold mountains of Bolivia, near the icy waters of Lake Titicaca, there is an old place called Puma Punku. It is one of the most strange ancient places in the world. For many years, it has made experts confused. People like archaeologists, engineers, and historians have gone there to study it, but many things about it are still not clear. Puma Punku is very high above sea level, about 12,800 feet up. At this height, the air is very thin. It is hard to breathe. Even small work makes people tired fast. Many visitors feel weak after only a short time there. This makes the place even more strange, because building something here would have been very hard. When you first see Puma Punku, it looks like a big field full of broken stone. The stones are spread all over the ground. Some are very big and heavy. Some are smaller, but shaped in strange ways. At first, it may look like just broken rocks, but when people looked closely, they saw something shocking. Many stones are cut with very neat work. The surfaces are very flat. The edges are very sharp. Some blocks have straight lines cut into them. Some have deep grooves and patterns. These cuts look too exact for such an old time. Because of this, many experts still ask how it was done. This place is linked to the Tiwanaku people. The Tiwanaku were an old group who lived in the Andes Mountains long ago, around 300 AD to 900 AD. They were smart people. They farmed in hard land. They built strong homes, temples, and stone buildings. They also made systems to grow food in cold and rough weather. Most experts say the Tiwanaku were very important in South America. They were good builders and had strong skills. But Puma Punku looks very different from their other work. Other Tiwanaku sites can be understood, but Puma Punku looks too complex and strange. Because of this, some people ask if Tiwanaku alone built it. One big mystery is the stone type. Many blocks are made from andesite. This is a very hard rock from volcanoes. It is much harder than copper, which was one of the main metals used by ancient people there. The usual idea is that they used stone tools, sand, and a lot of hard work to shape the stones. Some experts agree with this idea, but others do not agree. They say the work is too perfect for simple tools. Some cuts look like they were made by machines. Some surfaces are very smooth. Some lines are very straight over a long space. Some shapes are repeated many times. This makes people think they may have used special tools or planning method. The most well-known stones at Puma Punku are the H-shaped block. These stones look like the letter A. They have cuts, holes, and grooves. Many researchers think these stones were made to fit together like puzzle pieces. They may have locked into each other without using mud or cement. The design looks planned and very careful, but there is a big problem. After many years of study, no one has fully rebuilt the site. Experts have tried drawings, models, and computer work. Still, they cannot agree on how it all fit. Some stones match, but many do not fit well. Some blocks are different sizes. This creates more confusion. Because of this, some people think the site was not finished. Others think the stones were moved from another place. Some people also believe a much older group built it before the Tiwanaku. They say the Tiwanaku may have found the place already built and only used it later. Another big question is how the stones were moved. Some blocks are more than 100 tons in weight. They came from places far away. Moving stones this heavy over rough mountains would be very hard even today. The air is thin and people get tired very fast. The normal idea is that workers used ropes, wood logs, ramps, and many people to move the stones. This method was used in other old places in the world, but some people say Puma Punku is harder than those places. They say the size and land make it very hard to explain fully. Because of all these things, Puma Punku stays one of the biggest mysteries in old history. The more people study it, the more questions they get. Nothing becomes fully clear. This leads to one final question that still has no answer. How did people, so long ago, with simple tools and hard land, make stonework so exact that even modern experts still cannot fully explain it today? Let's find out. The debate over how Puma Punku was built. For many years, people like scientists and archaeologists have argued about Puma Punku. They still ask the same question: how did people from the past make such fine stonework in such a hard place? Even today, there is no clear answer. New machines and modern tools have made the mystery even bigger because they now show more detail in the stones. One big question is about how smooth and exact the stones are. Some researchers who check the blocks say many surfaces are very flat. They also say many lines and cuts are very straight and even. Because of this, some people think the stones look like they were made with modern tools, not simple old tools. This has surprised many people. The Tiwanaku people, who are linked to the site, did not have iron tools or machines. They did not have steel or factory tools. They lived many years ago in ancient times. Most experts believe they used stone tools, copper tools, sand, and a lot of hard work. They shaped each stone slowly by hand over a long time. People who support this idea say ancient workers were very skilled. They believe we should not think less of them. With time, effort, and many workers, even hard stones can be shaped. Another strange thing is how the site looks today. Most old sites look like broken buildings or walls that fell down, but Puma Punku looks different. The stones are spread all over the ground. It is hard to see one clear building. It looks more like parts that were never fully joined. Because of this, some people think the work stopped early. They say maybe the builders left before finishing the site. This is one idea, but it is not proven. Historians do not agree with this idea. They say the Tiwanaku people did not disappear in one moment. Their society became weak slowly. Problems like weather change, lack of food, and social trouble made their culture fall over time. There is no strong proof of a sudden stop at Puma Punku. Because of this, some other ideas came up. Some people think Puma Punku is much older than the Tiwanaku. They believe another unknown group built it long before history was written. They think Tiwanaku people may have found it later and used it. A researcher named Arthur Posnanski also supported this idea. He studied the site many years ago. He believed the site was very old. He looked at how the stones matched the sun and stars. He thought the site could be much older than most experts say. Modern scientists do not agree with him. They use tests like radiocarbon dating. These tests place the site in the time of the Tiwanaku people, so most experts still accept that view. Still, new finds in other parts of the Americas make people ask more questions. Very old human sites have been found in places like Chile and North America. This shows humans may have lived in the Americas earlier than once thought. But this does not prove Puma Punku was built by a lost, advanced group. Most archaeologists still say the Tiwanaku people built it. They believe they used simple tools and strong teamwork. They may have used ropes, wooden rollers, ramps, and sleds to move heavy stones. These ways were used in many old places around the world. It was slow and hard work, but it worked with enough people. But some people still doubt this. They say the stones are too big and the land is too hard. The site is very high and people get tired quickly because there is less air. This makes the work harder to understand. Today, Puma Punku is still a big mystery. Some people think it shows lost knowledge from the past. Others think people today just do not understand how skilled ancient builders were. Even after many studies, many things are still not clear. No one fully agrees on how the stones were shaped. No one fully agrees on how the site was built. No one fully agrees on the full design. The site is real. The stones are real. The Tiwanaku people were real. But the full story is still missing. So one question is left. If modern tools now show such perfect stonework, how did this place fall into ruin so long ago before we could fully understand it? Let's delve deeper. The mystery, precision, and hidden engineering of Puma Punku. Puma Punku remains one of the most mysterious ancient sites in the world because of its unusual stonework and the many questions surrounding its construction. Located high in the Bolivian mountains at nearly 13,000 feet above sea level, the site continues to attract archaeologists, engineers, historians, and alternative researchers. Many experts believe the ruins were built by the Tiwanaku civilization between 500 and 900 AD, while others argue that the technology used at the site appears too advanced for that time period. The mystery surrounding Puma Punku has led to many alternative theories over the years. Some researchers claim the site is evidence of lost ancient knowledge, while others connect it to ancient astronaut theories. These ideas became popular because the stone blocks at the site appear extremely precise. The joints between some stones are so tight that people claim even a razor blade cannot fit between them. The blocks also contain straight lines, smooth surfaces, sharp corners, and perfectly shaped grooves that look almost machine-made. Mainstream archaeologists reject claims involving aliens or unknown advanced civilizations. They believe the Tiwanaku people were highly skilled builders who used traditional tools, organized labor, and engineering knowledge to create the site. Even so, many people continue to question how ancient builders working with stone and copper tools could achieve such precision. Another major reason the site is difficult to understand is because much of Puma Punku was badly damaged during the late 19th century. When railway construction expanded across Bolivia, workers reportedly used dynamite to break apart many ancient stones. Large blocks were removed and reused for railroad projects, bridges, and other construction work. Historical reports described workers pulling apart carefully fitted stones and destroying sections of the ancient platform for convenience. This destruction permanently changed the site. Many stones were moved far from their original positions, while others were broken or lost completely. Because of this, archaeologists today still struggle to determine exactly how Puma Punku originally looked. Some blocks remain half buried in the ground, while others are damaged beyond recognition. The destruction also made it harder for experts to understand the original purpose and layout of the monument. Local traditions have added even more mystery to the site. Stories passed down among the Aymara people claim that the ancient builders could soften stone and shape it almost like clay before it hardened again. According to these traditions, the stones were not carved in the normal way, but were molded while soft. Many historians see these stories as legends created from admiration for the impressive ruins. However, some alternative researchers believe the stories may contain memories of forgotten building techniques or ancient chemical processes. Excavations at Puma Punku have shown that the builders used advanced construction methods. Huge sandstone foundation blocks were carefully placed in leveled trenches. Researchers found evidence of interlocking joints and specially shaped connections that helped hold the structure together. These methods may have protected the site from earthquakes and flooding, which are common in the region. The builders also appear to have understood how to spread weight evenly across the structure. Instead of simply stacking stones on top of one another, they designed the blocks to lock together in a stable system. Many modern engineers have been impressed by these techniques because similar ideas are still used in earthquake-resistant construction today. Modern technology has completely changed the way researchers study Puma Punku. For many years, archaeologists relied mainly on hand drawings, sketches, and simple measurements. Today, researchers use drones, LiDAR scanners, high-resolution photography, and 3D modeling software to study the ruins in far greater detail. These tools allowed experts to create detailed digital models of the site. Every block was scanned from multiple angles to build a virtual copy of Puma Punku, accurate to within a few millimeters. This gave researchers a better chance to study how the stones may have originally connected together. In 2018, archaeologist Alexei Vranich led a major reconstruction study using miniature replicas based on digital scans of the stone. When researchers assembled the replicas, many of the pieces fit together with remarkable precision. This suggested that the builders followed a planned architectural system rather than shaping stones randomly. Further digital studies in 2024 produced even more detailed scans of the site. Researchers used drone photogrammetry and LiDAR technology to capture the ruins at extremely high resolution. Digital simulations showed that many blocks formed part of a stable interlocking system designed to support weight and reduce stress across the structure. Researchers also used machine learning software to study repeated patterns and measurements within the block. The software found matching ratios, symmetrical layouts, and consistent shapes across different stones. Even damaged pieces appeared to follow the same design rules. These discoveries suggested that the builders used organized planning and standardized measurements throughout construction. Although many questions remain unanswered, Puma Punku continues to stand as one of the most remarkable ancient engineering sites ever discovered. The ruins remain a powerful example of human creativity, skill, and mystery. While ongoing research continues to challenge what people believe ancient civilizations were capable of achieving. If structures like Puma Punku's 8-shaped blocks already challenge our understanding of ancient engineering, what then can we make of the Inca civilization that followed? Let's learn more. The Inca civilization, a lost empire of ingenuity, mystery, and achievement. The Inca people lived for about 400 years, from the 12th to the 16th century, with unclear origins surrounded by myths and story. And they came to an end very suddenly, leaving only ruins behind. I am Greek, and I grew up with pride in cultures that have long histories reaching thousands of years. So at first, I did not fully understand the importance of what the Incas achieved during a time when Europe and the Middle East were already making progress and moving toward early science. My view changed when I walked the Inca Trail on the way to Machu Picchu. I thought it would only be a spiritual trip because of the final place, but I soon realized it was also a deep lesson about human skill and greatness. In the morning, I listened to the land, and at night I read the Royal Commentaries of the Inca by Garcilaso de la Vega, who was from royal Inca blood. From what I learned, the Incas had many surprising features. Even though their civilization is not very old compared to others, they did not have a system of writing. This makes it hard to study them because there are almost no written records except those made after the Spanish arrived. They also did not invent the wheel. They did not have numbers in the way we know them, but they still kept very detailed records using quipu, which are strings with knots of different colors and sizes. These were used to track crops, people, and taxes sent to the ruler and government. Their economy worked without money because they used trade instead of currency. Gold and silver were not used for buying things, but for decoration in temples, because they believed these metals looked like the sun and moon, which were their main god. Their empire was very large, covering parts of modern Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia, Argentina, Chile, and Colombia. They built long roads like the Romans and rope bridges over rivers, which were strong enough for Spanish riders on horses. Their system of government worked well, even without writing or fast transport. The ruler gave land, food, and clothes to people, so there was little hunger or crime, and they did not need prisons. Their buildings are amazing, with huge stones cut so perfectly that not even a thin card can fit between them. Even with simple tools, they created great works. After the Spanish arrived, their empire ended, but crops like potatoes and tomatoes spread to Europe, and their gold changed the European economy, while their history still interests people today and continues to be studied. What do you think about Puma Punku's H-blocks? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Outro! Thank you for staying with us as we explored the mysteries of Puma Punku and the rise of the Inca civilization. If this journey into ancient engineering and forgotten history kept you engaged, don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the next video on your screen for more fascinating stories from the ancient world. See you there.